Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever this video finds you in space and time. It is Sunday morning for me here in this little haven in Montana, and I'm feeling like something really kind of easy and gentle and slow this morning. So, of course, feel free to do this at any time if this type of practice calls to you. I find that lately it's been calling to me more and more. And especially today and yesterday, I've kind of had something funny happening in my neck. And so we're going to work on some neck and shoulders and just kind of opening up our bodies in a really gentle and fluid way. Feeling very watery. So go ahead and take a seat. We'll start as we usually do. As you can see, I'm in slippers still, and I've got my trusty dusty coffee back here. Some people practice with water, I practice with coffee. So when you find your comfortable seat, whether you're sitting on your knees and shins, sinking your hips towards your heels, maybe even with a block in between your feet. As you can see here, I have a block and a strap that might come in handy for today's class. And you can always choose to use props or to not. I love them, but obviously totally up to you. So go ahead when you find your seat, rock side to side, make sure that you can find your sit bones, maybe even so much so that you can kind of roll to that front part of your sit bones and find the natural supported curve in the low back. Hands rest gently on thighs, close your eyes. Begin to smooth and deepen your inhales and exhales. Scan your body from the top of your head down through your forehead, eyebrows, ears, cheeks, jaw, tongue, throat, your neck, shoulders, that space in your back between your shoulder blades and your spine that tends to get nice and tight for modern living. Notice if you're holding your belly in and see if you can soften it in a way that allows for a sense of letting go. Scan down through your low back, your hips, your thighs. Let go of any gripping or clenching that you can. Through your calves, shins, ankles, your feet. And just acknowledge where you are today in your own body. And as we move and breathe together today, I invite you to set an intention for your practice. And furthermore, I invite you to share an intention with me. And what's come up for me this morning is letting go of the binary world that we cling so desperately to of good, bad, right, wrong, this very black and white view of things that doesn't account for, mostly gray. We live in a very gray world because black and white for me is not black and white for you or most people. Our perspective is our own, it's unique, it comes along with our own experience. Whatever our personal journey through life has colored our lenses with, so to speak. So again, I invite you to kind of swim in the gray area today, to notice if right and wrong or good or bad crop up in your mind. If you can just, instead of watering the seeds of a binary world, I invite you to instead swim in that ocean of gray. This sense of removing judgment, starting here with your own practice. Lift your hands from your thighs, bring your palms to meet at your heart. Lift your heart into the base of your thumbs as you draw your thumbs in towards your heart center, and bow your head to your hands in this gesture of gratitude and also humility. Softening ourselves humbly before the reality of where our bodies are at right now. If we soften ourselves into this space of humility, we might find something new about our body. We might begin to soften our hearing to get beyond that space of right and wrong or good or bad, to ease into the gray area. Take a big inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Release your hands, lift your head, open your eyes. If you are not already in a comfortable seat for you, or this has gotten uncomfortable, feel free to adjust. And go ahead and reach your fingertips out towards your sides. Float them off of the floor, but reach them diagonally out towards the floor. And go ahead and soften your left ear towards your left shoulder and reach out through your right fingertips. So your right fingertips are reaching away from the right ear that's reaching away from your right shoulder. You might choose to stay here, or maybe flip your right palm to the sky. Keep that there, and maybe without losing the lengthening of the ear towards your right or your left shoulder, excuse me, you might even sort of lift your gaze and your chin slightly to the sky. And turn your right palm down and notice the sensations as you do. Maybe even begin to turn your chin and your gaze slightly down. Again, left ear is still yearning for your left shoulder. Maybe even begin to direct the breath to create space anywhere that you feel that spaciousness is needed. And again, turn your gaze and your palm to lift to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, palm and gaze turn down towards the floor. Inhale, palm and gaze to the sky. Exhale, palm and gaze to the floor. Leave your palm facing down and simply lift your gaze and your chin back towards center. Ears in line with the shoulder. And inhale, lift up, stack your head right in the middle. Maybe release your hands to your thighs. Take a moment and rest and acknowledge whatever sensations are occurring. Maybe allow them to be just that sensation without labeling. Maybe notice the difference between your two shoulders. And then again, reach out diagonally, arms reach side to side, other side. So right ear softens towards the right shoulder, This side here is really sticky for me this morning. Make sure to move gently with a sense of curiosity, and that sense of humility, where you might accept what your limitations are, where your edges are, and soften around them. And then you might stay here, or you can turn this left palm to face the sky. Notice the sensations as you do. Maybe some tingling with nerves being kind of tickled or compressed from tension. If you would like, you can again turn your chin and your gaze to the sky with your palm. And here, turn your palm down and your gaze down. We'll be here for a couple of breaths. And inhale, chin, gaze, palm to the sky. Exhale, down, palm, gaze. Inhale, everything up to the sky. Look up, flip your palm up. And exhale, turn the chin and the palm down. Palm will remain down here as you slowly lift your chin and your gaze back towards center. And inhale, lift your head back up to center. Rest your hands on your thighs briefly. Take in any sensations here. And you can either keep your hands resting softly on your legs or release them to your sides for some shoulder rolls. I just don't want you to press down on your thighs to lift your shoulders. So arms are going to stay nice and loose and limp as we begin to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down. Shoulders move forward, up, back, and down. Notice the full movement of the shoulders along with the shoulder blades. So maybe close your eyes if it helps you here. And just notice how these two things, arms or three, arms and shoulder blades, move in concert with one another. Reverse the direction of your shoulder circles, moving them forward. Excellent. Next time your shoulders are down and relaxed in a neutral position, pause. And we're going to go back one shoulder at a time. So really flossing. You might even turn your chest and your gaze in the direction that the shoulder is moving up and back. As you can see, I'm twisting slightly in my upper body, kind of swaying. Allow the movement to be free. And reverse, shoulders move up and forward one at a time. Arms remain soft. Feeling into what your body needs. Good. Go ahead and pause. We're going to make our way to our backs, Move any blocks or tools out of the way. And come to your back with your knees bent, feet planted, hip width distance-ish. Don't overthink it. Take a moment with your hands on your belly. You can close your eyes again here. Notice where your shoulder blades are landing on your mat, your shoulders. Maybe if the front tips of your shoulders are really lifting up towards the sky, away from the mat. See if you can just relax everything. Allow gravity to do its work as it really grounds you into the earth here. Allowing the back of your body to be soft and heavy. And hands can stay on your belly here, or you can release them out to your sides, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Again, feet about hip width distance. We're going to just gently rock across the flat of our low back, what we call the sacrum. And just rocking side to side without using your legs. Legs are just kind of following the natural movement of this rocking side to side as we bring some gentle twisting to the discs in our low back. Start to create some hydration there. If you would like, you could start to make the movement slightly bigger. Maybe one hip lifts as you rock to the opposite side. And doing what feels right. There's that word. And doing what your body needs. Then slowly pause. Place your hands on your bony hip points, these bony protrusions that are somewhere kind of below and outside of your belly button. So even if you have a little bit more flesh there, just place your hands where you imagine they might be. We're going to come into some pelvic tilting and rocking. So as you inhale, send your bony hip points away from your face, low back lifts. As you exhale, draw your bony hip points up towards your face, low back drops to the mat. And again, inhale, hip points away from you, low back lifts. It's as though you're on a clock moving from 12. Exhale, bony hip points back to 6. Keep doing that with your own breath. You inhale to 12 and exhale to 6. Do one more full round. Good. Inhale to 12 o'clock, bony hip points are away, low back is lifted. And start to move around a circle in clockwise direction. So staying on the low back, move over to 3 o'clock, down to 6, over to 9, back up to 12, with an attempt of still keeping that sacrum rooted, so we're not lifting up necessarily, but really trying to hit all of the numbers on this imaginary clock that we're tracing with our hip bones in space and with our low back on the mat. You can use your breath in any way that feels supported here. Next time you're at 12, reverse the direction of your circle, so move in a counterclockwise direction. And next time you're at 12 o'clock, pause and find a neutral spine. Now, wherever your feet are, I want you to plant them so that your heels are about outer hip width distance. And try to imagine that all 10 toes are pointing straight forward so you find parallel feet. And this might feel a little pigeon toe, that's fine. Arms again come out to your sides, maybe palms next to your hips. They can plant down, or if you want to press the pinky edge side of your hands down into the mat. You're going to come into a little bit of a dynamic bridge flow. So first, inhale your hip bones away from you to 12 o'clock. Notice how that feels in your low back. Exhale, draw your hip bones towards your face. Low back flattens. You're at 6 o'clock. Feel the spaciousness of the low back here. Keep that. Curl your outer glutes, or your outer butt muscles rather, towards your outer knees as you press down into your feet to lift. So we're keeping the low back spacious. We're not coming all the way up. Knees stay inside this kind of car of your body. And as you exhale, go ahead and roll down. Low back comes back to neutral. And as we inhale, we press up into our feet. Outer butt muscles keep curling towards the backs of our knees. Low back remains nice and broad. Exhale to release. You can stay with this or also add the arms. So as we inhale, we press down, curl outer glute muscles towards the backs of our knees as our arms lift up and overhead, backs of the hands rest on the earth. And then exhale, let everything soften back, palms come back to rest by our hips. Let's do that 3 more times, with or without the arms. Inhale, press up, reach up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up. Of course, I lost count, so we're going to do this 1 more time. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, reach up. Pause here. See if you can't soften your groin back to the mat. Feel that slight internal rotation of your thigh bones. Press down into all 4 corners of your feet again. And by really sending your glute muscles, these outer butt muscles, towards the backs of your knees, lift a little higher. And maybe even more still, without moving them, isometrically drag your heels back towards your butt. Feel your hamstrings fire, or maybe some other things for you. And see if you can't soften into this space, even with this little bit of effort, as we build a little bit of heat. Bring some fresh blood to and lubrication to our hamstrings before we give them a little bit of length in a moment. And notice if you're still relaxing into that ocean of gray area. See if you can remain outside of those binary walls. Take another inhale here. And exhale, slowly release. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Plant your right hand on top of your kneecap. Same with the left. Let's just take some nice circles with the knees in and out to release any tension that might have built up there in the low back. Good. Now, release your left foot back to the mat. Plant it wherever it's comfortable. Interlace your fingers in the back of your right thigh below your knee. Flex your right foot. Exhale, draw your low right belly in as you pull your right knee in towards your right armpit. Inhale, press the right leg straight-ish into your hands. Reach out through your heel. Exhale, low belly draws in as the thigh and knee bend in towards the armpit. Leave your neck soft, shoulders soft. Inhale, press out through the right heel, send the leg straight-ish as you press into your interlaced fingers. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lengthen. Notice if that outer right hip is really popping up towards you and your toes begin to turn in towards your face. See if you can't lengthen the right waist away from you towards the bottom of the mat so that you can find that gentle external rotation of the leg. Let's hold here with this straight leg. If you would like, you can kind of crawl your hands up if that feels right. If it feels okay to you, you can grab the outer edge of your foot or maybe a peace finger lock on your big toe. My slippers won't let me do that. Whatever allows you to remain long and soft in all parts of your body with this little bit of effort, lengthening out the back of our legs. And as you're ready, slowly release whatever you're grabbing. Bend your right knee again, plant your right foot. Appreciate any sensations that are happening in your leg, in your neck, your shoulders, maybe some warmth that's building. And bring your left knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers behind the left thigh below the knee. And let's check in with that outer left hip. It really wants to pop up towards your face and shorten this left waist. Instead, wrap the outer left hip away from you. Feel the waist lengthen, keep that, and scoop the low left belly in as you exhale and draw the knee and thigh in towards your chest. Foot stays flexed. Inhale, press out through the heel. Exhale, scoop the left belly. Bend the knee. Left waist stays long. Inhale, extend. Reach out through the heel. Toes stay flexed back toward your face. Shoulders and neck are soft. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lengthen. And here we hold. And if you would like, again, you might begin to crawl the fingertips or scoop them up towards your foot, any amount. They might stay behind the calf or the knee or just the thigh. Don't worry about the shape. Again, what feels appropriate for your body today? What do you need? And no matter what you are holding on to, continue to relax shoulders and shoulder blades down towards the earth. We're allowing gravity to help us a lot here this morning. And slowly release whatever you're holding. Bend your left knee, plant your left foot. Take a moment again to appreciate those sensations, whatever they are. Bring your knees back in towards your chest. Grab the backs of both thighs beneath your knees. Begin to find a little bit of gentle motion as you rock and roll front and back. And if this doesn't feel good on your back, make your way to meet us in hands and knees, all fours, however you would like. If you need to pad your knees with the blanket, feel free. You'll find this nice bone stacking with your palms directly underneath your armpits, knees directly underneath your bony hip points. Toes can be tucked under or the tops of the feet can be planted, whatever feels right for you. And remember those pelvic tilts. I want you to, actually, never mind. We're going to do cat and cows first so you can feel the full motion of the spine before we start isolating things. So go ahead, inhale, drag your palms isometrically back towards your knees as the heart drags through the upper arms. Lift the gaze, lift the crown and the tail to the sky. Exhale, press away for cat pose. Palms press forward and down, away from the knees as you gaze toward your belly button. Move with your breath. Inhale for cat pose, creating that nice U shape with your spine. Exhale for cat as you create that rainbow shape with your spine. Let's do two more. Feeling that nice big movement in the spine. Last round. With your next inhale, come to a neutral spine. And now, remember those pelvic tilts. Without creating a huge curve in the low back, I want you to feel that sensation of your bony hip points lifting up gently towards 6 o'clock, maybe halfway to that 6 o'clock mark, as though you were pulling them in towards your belly button. You'll feel the low back broaden a bit. Keep that. Absorb the low ribs. And I want you to do cat-cow, but only with your shoulder blades. So as we inhale, our heart softens towards our thumbs without dumping forward, right? Heart softens towards the thumbs as the shoulder blades retract around your spine. Exhale, press away, that slight cat pose as the shoulder blades wrap wide around the spine and protract. Inhale, heart softens, retract the shoulder blades, wrap them around the spine. Exhale, protract. Inhale to retract. Wrap the shoulder blades around your spine. Exhale to protract. You'll notice this is quite a small movement. I'm not moving my belly. I'm not moving my low back. Let's do another round. If this is feeling difficult for you, good. If this is new to you, it will feel maybe a little unfamiliar and challenging. Allow that to be okay. Learning new things doesn't mean we're going to be perfect the first time or get it right or be good or any of those things. So now let's try to add on to this movement with the shoulder blades. I want you to elevate the shoulder blades towards your ears. Your shoulders will shrug up towards your ears. They move in as one part. And wrap your shoulder blades around your spine from here. Retract them. Now drag your shoulder blades down the back as you depress them down the back. And now wrap them wide as you protract. Bring your shoulder blades up towards the ears. You elevate the shoulder blades. Retract them to wrap them around the spine. Drag the shoulder blades down the spine as you depress them and protract, wrap them wide. And as you'll see, we're starting to create these nice big circles with our shoulder blades. Really bringing them off the back and bringing some hydration to those sheets of muscle in between our ribs and our shoulder blades. Excellent. Pause next time you're protracting and the shoulder blades are wrapped wide. And we're going to move in reverse. So from here, I want you to drag the shoulder blades down the back. Now retract them, wrap them around the spine. And now elevate them up the spine. And protract. Again, wrap them wide and then depress. Wrap them around the spine, retract, elevate towards the ears, press away to wrap them wide, and then keep moving in these circular motions. And if you're not quite getting it yet, again, don't worry about it. Maybe just move your shoulders and shoulder blades in any way that you can for now that allows a sense of release of your shoulder blades off of your back and moving them in as many directions as possible. Now, pause. If your toes are tucked, untuck your toes, sink your hips towards your heels, and sweep your hands by your side, backs of the hands rest next to your feet for this embryo version of child's pose, and feel your shoulders and shoulder blades just waterfall and cascade towards the mat. And take a moment to bring an awareness to any sensations surrounding the shoulder blades here. Plant your fingertips on either side of your shins or your palms. Press the earth away to sit up on your heels. If you need to sit in a different way, go for it. Again, we're going to come into some nice big shoulder movements here. Some of my favorites. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, bend your elbows, stretch and reach your heart to the sky, but focus on some nice big shoulder blade movements. So really squeeze them back and then reach forward and wrap them wide. Reach up, elevate, bend your elbows, stretch your heart up as you drag the shoulder blades down the back and together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows wide, lift the heart. Last one, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows wide, lift the heart. Back to hands and knees. Come into your tabletop position. Inhale, send your right toes behind you, tuck them under the back of your mat. Keep them there. Swing your left toes out to the left, gate pose. Press down through your left hand so much you feel the shoulder blade wrap wide. And plant all four corners of your right foot, outer edge of the right foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. So we're not sinking into our shoulder here. We're pressing away actively through our left hand to get that hollow sensation in the armpit. Lift the ribs away from the mat and the top ribs up towards the sky as you reach right fingertips to the sky, gate pose. Ankle, knee, hip, shoulder are in one line. So check if your foot is way in front or behind you. Really try to find that nice even line. Turn your top hand to face the front of the mat. Reach up and overhead. Arm is more or less by your ear. Let's make some nice big rock star circles here with our breath. So strum your rock star guitar. Allow your palm to move in as big circles as you can. So really allow the shoulder and chest to fall back. Turn your palm to face in every direction as you do. So as you come back, it flips up towards the sky. As you reach forward, it turns to face down. Reverse the direction of your circles. Do one more here. Wonderful. Bring your hand to your hip. Gaze towards the top of your mat. Float your right back foot up. Bring your knee in towards your chest and step your foot to the top of your mat. Keep it nice and wide, left toes come back behind you to square, and release your right hand inside of your right foot. We're in a low lunge. Inhale, drag your heart forward, send your hips forward. Use your butt muscles to really support the low back as you send your hips forward. And exhale, shift your hips back, press your front leg straight. You can flex the toes. Heart is still dragging forward through the upper arms. Inhale to lunge. Heart, hips, reach forward. Exhale, half splits, shift your hips back. Do that one more round. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, come back to that lunge. Plant your left hand. Right hand can come back to the hip. We're going to press the leg straight so that we can float the right foot up and bring it back to our gate pose. Reach up. And exhale, plant your right hand and right knee. Come back to your tabletop so that we can do the other side. Left toes reach behind you. Tuck them under at the back of the mat. Right toes swing out to the right. Do a little kickstand for balance. Press down into the right hand so much you feel the shoulder blade move wide across the back. As you reach your left fingertips to the sky and check that that left foot again is in line with your knee, hip, shoulder, so that we have one long line. Again, bottom ribs are actively lifting away from the mat. Top ribs are really reaching up to the sky. Turn your top hand to face the front of the mat. Reach up and overhead. And again, nice big rock star circles. Allow that left hand to move in all directions as the palm flips in all directions so that you can explore the full movement of your shoulder with internal rotation, external rotation, these big circles that are really lubricating this whole shoulder complex. Maybe hopefully releasing some of that tension that we build up in modern life. Reverse the direction of your rock star circles if you haven't already. Do a few in this direction. And slowly bring your left hand to your hip, gaze to the top of your mat. Lift your back foot off the mat. Knee comes in towards chest, and try to float your left foot to the upper outer left corner of your mat. Right toes square back behind you. Both hands or fingertips plant inside of the left foot. As we inhale, shift forward, drag your heart through your upper arms. Again, use your butt muscles, especially these outer low glute muscles to really send your pelvis forward in space. Inhale. Exhale, half splits. Flex left toes back towards your face. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, half splits, hips go back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back, half splits. Inhale brings us back forward to our low lunge. Plant your right hand, left hand on hip. You can begin to press the leg straight-ish. Send your hips back so that you can float the foot up and back to your gate pose. Reach your left fingertips up. Lift top ribs towards the sky. And exhale, come back. Tabletop position. Big toes touch here. Knees are going to go nice and wide. Child's pose with arms reaching actively out in front of you. Notice if your neck feels spacious or if it's really congested as you turn your armpits out away from your face. And instead, explore turning your armpits to face your chin and see if that feeling of deep external rotation in your upper arm bones creates a little bit more space in your neck. Even if your shoulders are working a little bit more actively to make that happen. Lift your chin and your gaze slightly. Walk your hands back, one palm print. Pick up your left hand and sweep it underneath your right arm. For the supported, kind of thread the needle. Focusing much more on, again, releasing the shoulders and shoulder blades. Then creating a big twist in the spine. Press down into your right hand to lift your head. Sweep your left arm back, plant the left hand, pick up your right hand, thread the needle, other side, back of the right arm, and the right side of your temple. Rest gently on the mat as you reach away through your right fingertips to create more of an opening across the back of that left or that right shoulder. Shoulder blade is widening across the back also as you do. Good, press down into your left hand. Inhale, bring your right arm back in front of you. Shift your hips forward for a tabletop position. Bring your knees back underneath your hips and walk them back away from you. Shift your hips forward. We're lowering to our bellies. Continue to resist the earth. Remember those shoulder blades staying nice and wide across the back and your armpits having a sense of space, almost like a hollow feeling there. Gently stretch your heart forward, lengthen the bones behind your ears, bend your elbows and lower to your bellies in one supported piece. From here, plant the tops of the feet. Keep your left hand and fingertips next to your chest and reach your right arm out away from you. Bend your left knee. And real quick, just to mention, make sure that your middle finger is in line with the middle of your shoulder. You might even have your palm slightly above your shoulder line, but just don't do it below, okay? So I like to start here in this position and then maybe move it up or change it up from there, but start here. So with left knee bent, left hand pressing down next to your chest, begin to press down to roll over your right hip. Maybe left toes plant somewhere behind your right leg. Maybe you're just stacked here. Maybe it feels better, more supportive to bend both knees and stack your knees. The position of the legs really is just here to support you as you now open out across your chest. With your next inhale, lengthen your bottom leg back out if it was bent like mine. Slowly make your way back to your belly in whatever way makes sense for you. Bend your right arm, plant your palm or your fingertips next to your chest. I have to move all of my things out of the way to make room for my left hand. Reach your left arm out. Check to make sure that the middle finger isn't below your shoulder line, but maybe even slightly above it. Bend your right knee. Press down into the right hand to roll over the left hip. And again, find whatever position with your legs makes sense for you. I like to use this hand in front of my chest here, my right hand, to continue to kind of press and be a kickstand to keep pressure and weight for that opening across my left chest. Those pec muscles that tend to get nice and tight. You might even feel this in your bicep if you have big buff bicep muscles. It really just depends on your body and the physical perspective that you have created in your physical body. And very slowly unwind, make your way back to your belly. Plant your palms in front of your forehead, stack your hands. Just rest your head on your hands for a moment. Big toes touch, heels fall away. Notice your breath. And very slowly make your way to your back. You can just roll on over like I'm doing. Or if you want to get clever and creative with it, if you're feeling feisty, get down with your bad self. Again, plant your feet hip width distance. Plant your palms on your belly momentarily. And again, notice where your shoulders are in space. Notice if they are still lifting up towards the sky as much as they were possibly in the beginning. It's very common with tight pecs and upper traps to see this big lifting of the shoulder points, the frontal points towards the sky. So notice if anything today has allowed for more spaciousness across your chest. Good. Now, pick up your right ankle, cross it over the top of your left thigh, make a figure four. Flex your right toes gently back towards your right knee as the right knee reaches away from your face. So you can either just do that with your outer hip muscles, those deep external rotators. You could also take your right hand, place it on your inner thigh and press it away if that feels right for you. So pick that variation. You might stay here, or you might draw the left thigh and knee towards your left armpit and interlace your fingers behind the back of the left thigh. And again, oftentimes we kind of start with that left knee towards our nose or more in line with our chin. Try to drag it out towards the left shoulder, left side of the mat, and see how that changes things for you. Notice the outer right hip if it's lifting up towards your face and shortening your right waist. Lengthen the right waist. Try to get those bony hip points level in space on your mat. Option to stay here. You might find a little push-pull resistance with the hands on the back of that left thigh. Allow your neck, your jaw, your shoulders to remain soft. Slowly release the back of your left thigh. Plant your left foot. Arms come out to your sides, palms face up. Cross your right thigh over the top of your left thigh like a lady sits. Pick up your hips. Scooch down to the right side of the mat. Just a couple inches. Take an inhale. Exhale, allow your knees to soften to the left. Right shoulder and shoulder blade stay anchored and gently rooted onto the mat. So the idea is not necessarily that the knees are going to drop all the way to the earth, more that they're just softening in that direction here. If this feels like it's too much for you, by all means, uncross your legs and simply stack your right knee on top of your left. And see what effort you can let go of here. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw your belly in to lift your knees back up to center. Uncross your legs, center your hips on the mat. Pick up your left ankle, cross it over the top of your right thigh. Flex your left toes towards your left knee as the left knee moves away from your face. And again, you can just do that with these outer butt muscles and hip muscles, or you can plant your left hand on top of your inner left thigh and press it away. Or reach through your legs for the back of the right thigh. Flex your right foot gently. Notice that left waist and outer hip. If it's lifting up, reach it towards the bottom of the mat and lengthen the left waist. Allow both hip bones to be level. Move your right knee out towards your right armpit and shoulder as shoulders continue to soften down towards the mat. Jaw and neck are soft. And if you would like to find that push-pull resistance as you pull back on the right thigh and press the thigh back into the hands, and see what that changes. And very slowly release the right thigh, arms come out to the sides, palms face up. Cross your left thigh over the top of your right, pick up your hips, move them to the left side of the mat, inhale. Exhale, soften your knees to the right as the left shoulder and shoulder blade stay rooted exactly where they are. Same option if you need to unwind and simply stack the left knee on top of the right. The option is there for you. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, draw your belly in to lift your knees back up, uncross your legs, center your hips on the mat. Draw your knees in towards your chest, nice and wide. Knees are aiming towards your armpits. Flex your feet and press up through the soles of your feet as though you can walk on the ceiling. So happy baby. We want our thighs to be kind of spiraling out so that they're outside of our ribs and our knees are coming in towards our armpits. So it actually makes room for us to draw our thighs closer in towards our chest, hopefully without just lifting our butt way up off of the mat. So you can grab the backs of your thighs below your knees. And again, find that pulling in and pushing back into the resistance of our hands. You can grab your ankles if that's accessible for you. You can also grab the pinky edge side of your feet. And if any of these options begins to really lift your shoulders and shoulder blades away from the mat because you don't quite have the flexibility in your hips, move back a level so that you can maintain the softness in your neck and shoulders and shoulder blades that we've been working on today. See if you can grab whatever you're grabbing in such a way that your collarbones stay as broad and exposed as possible. Slowly release whatever you're holding on to. Bring your inner legs to touch from ankles all the way up to your inner thighs. Squeeze your heels in towards your butt. Begin to lift your forehead towards your knees as you wrap your arms around your shins. Curl yourself up into a nice tight little ball. You can point your toes. You can draw your belly in. You can clench your jaw. You can squeeze your shoulders in. Get nice and tight. Squeeze a little harder, get a little smaller, take up less space. And very slowly expand and unfurl in all directions as you find Shavasana. If you have a blanket or a towel of any kind and you'd like to place it across your hips and belly, it can be nice and grounding, or cover up with it entirely. Set yourself up for a comfy Shavasana as heels are outer hip width distance-ish. Shoulder blades are underneath you and down your back. Arms are by your sides with palms face up, or you can place hands on your belly or on your heart. And allow yourself to soften deeply. Maybe even imagine the sensation of weightlessness as you float in this ocean, the gray area between the shores of black and white. Imagine yourself just lying gently, allowing the current to take you wherever it's taking you, without resisting, without searching or fighting for either shore. I will leave you here to enjoy your Shavasana for as long as you would like today. Namaste.